Madam Speaker, today I pay tribute to a legendary Lansing family that has broken barriers across generations and continues to make history to this very day. The story begins in 1927 when the family matriarch, Ms. Hortense Canady, was born in Chicago. While she didn't grow up in Michigan, she came to Michigan State University to pursue her graduate studies after attending Fisk University, where she met her husband, Clinton. In the Lansing area, Hortense and Clinton, a World War II veteran and member of the famed Tuskegee Airmen, settled, put down roots, and left an indelible mark on our community. Clinton became well-known and a well-loved dentist, while Hortense put her passion for education and civil rights into action, becoming the first African-American elected to the Lansing School Board of Education in 1968. 4 years later, she and several other board members were recalled for advocating for desegregation, but Hortense did not let that deter her from working towards her core belief that everyone deserves access to quality education. She sat on the state's Women's Commission, served as the first executive director of the Lansing Community College Foundation, and helped fund a debutante club in Lansing to fill a void for young black women who at the time were not permitted to share in this tradition. Hortense founded the Lansing alumni chapter of her sorority, Delta Sigma Theta, and served as its national president from 1983 to 1988. She was inducted into the Michigan Women's Hall of Fame in 2002 and was named one of Ebony Magazine's most influential people. Hortense Canady died in 2010 at the age of 83. Not only was Hortense impressive in her own right, but her children have continued to blaze their own trails. Her daughter, Elissa Canady, is the first African-American woman in the nation to be a neurosurgeon, and served as the chief of neurosurgery at the Children's Hospital of Michigan from 1987 until her retirement in 2001. She devoted her brilliant mind and her numerous talents to healing and welfare for thousands of young patients over the course of her career, and like her mother, was inducted into the Michigan Women's Hall of Fame. She was also named a Michigander of the Year by the Detroit News in 2002. All three of Hortense Canady's sons became attorneys, including the Honorable Judge Clinton Canady III. Before ascending to the bench, Canady practiced law for 37 years. He was the founder of the Lansing Black Lawyers Association, director of the Ingham County Bar Association, a commissioner for the Lansing Board of Water and Light, a member of the NAACP, and served on the board of the Lansing Symphony Association, Central Michigan Legal Aid, and so many other organizations. Elected to the Ingham County Circuit Court in 2010, Judge Canady served through his retirement in 2002, but returned on assignment to help address the backlog of cases during the COVID pandemic. He and his wife, Rita, have two children who are continuing the Canady tradition of service, one as an administrative law judge in California, the other at the United States Department of State. The Canady family is part of the very fabric of the Lansing community, a fabric stitched with their incredible work ethic, commitment to breaking new ground, and to clearing a path for others to follow. I ask that their accomplishments be forever enshrined in the permanent record of the United States House of Representatives.